ladies, I am Barbara and I am your menopause drama mama. I apologize if this video seems a little redundant. If you watched my other video on the whole process of our digestion and why it's slowing down after we hit our menopause years, but I was doing some research because I didn't realize that my younger sister and my older sister both had their gallbladders removed. And I'm going to look into that more and do a video on that and see how that plays out in menopause. But when I was researching that, then I kind of pulled all my papers from my video that I did on digestion and the issues that we have after menopause. And I kind of messed up a little bit about the stomach acid and bile. And I just want to literally do a quick recap kind of thing on that whole process. And if you are, bloating, if you have a lot of gas, if you have floating stool, if you have this insensitivity to dairy, to proteins, to fats, and, that whole issue in your stomach, and it just explodes into, every day just feeling crappy. Well, here I'm just going to do a quick run through on what is happening in those organs. Number one, in your stomach, it produces acid, which is HCI. Its main job is to break down your proteins, to sterilize food, and that is, from that harmful bacteria that get overgrown in your stomach. And it is also what triggers digestion signals. So what helps with that, and this are all three of these things that I take, and I am back to taking the one that I said I wasn't before, but is what helps with the bitter is, or for your stomach is one, the bitters, which is the Urban Moonshine that I am taking. I take this 3 to 5 minutes before I eat. This helps to stimulate in your stomach to start that whole digestion process. And it's a big signaler to say, hey, we got food coming in, so let's start releasing acid to break down food. And then the betaine, HCI, helps to replace, that stomach acid that is really low in your stomach. And this is the one that I'm taking. This I take after my second bite of food. Now, bile is produced in your liver, and this is where I got, kind of messed up on. And it gets stored into your gallbladder. So that's what kind of triggered me into wondering, well, what happens after menopause if women have already had their gallbladder removed? So I'm going to look into that and probably do a video. So what happens is your bile is produced in the liver, and then that is stored into your gallbladder. Its main job is breaking down and emulsifying fat. So that is, and I used this as an example before, it's like dish soap breaking apart all that greasy stuff that you eat, and that's what the bile is helping with. And so you have your stomach, which is the acid breakdown of protein, and then it signals your gallbladder to release bile and your pancreas to release enzymes. The bile breaks apart fats, and your enzymes finish off your digestion. But that bile, I guess it does not get released into your stomach. It gets released into your upper small intestine, which I believe it was called the duodenum. And that is where it starts to break apart those fats. And you need your healthy fats to, absorb into your body. So like your vitamin D's and stuff like that. And then, so when your stomach acid is low, the bile often gets released very weakly into your system. And that's why you have low acid, which leads to poor digestion, floating stool, and then what happens is your small intestine is the absorption center, and that is where your nutrients are absorbed into your body. So that's why the bile is released into that upper small intestine to help get that those nutrients absorbed into your body. And it absorbs your amino acids, your vitamins, your minerals, your fats, and your carbs. So the small intestine is where your body pulls nutrients out of foods and gets them absorbed into your body. And when you have a very, very poor digestion system, before this happens, your body struggles to absorb those properly. So then you end up feeling more fatigued, low energy, poor recovery, and nutritional deficiency in your body. And so I am back taking my Enzymedica Digest Gold. So I first am doing my moonshine bitters, urban moonshine bitters before I eat. I take the Digest Gold probiotics, Enzymedica. That's about after my first bite of food, because these are different enzymes than what is in this. And I need both of these enzymes because obviously my system has slowed down so much that I am not releasing enough of, producing stomach acid, producing the bile to get released into my upper small intestine. And then, I'm not having enough enzymes then from the pancreas to finish off this whole digestion problem going on. So it needs to finish off getting the digestion process moving so my body can absorb everything that it needs. And then remember, the last one in the organ is going to be your colon, and that absorbs water. So that's what forms your stool and houses much of your gut microbiome. So the colon helps manage your waste and your gut bacteria. So that is it. I wanted to just clarify that, and it was mainly the bile, how the bile is made from the liver, gets stored into the gallbladder, and released into the small upper intestine area, not into your stomach. So the stomach acid is totally separate from the bile. So you need all of them. You need your stomach acid, you need the bile, and you need the enzymes from your pancreas in order to get everything moving when you start eating. All right, ladies, that's it. I am hoping that was more clarifying than my last video that I did. And stay tuned, because I will be doing most likely another video, and that will be all about the gallbladder and what women do after menopause when you lose that. All right, enjoy your day. Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in this world. May the sun be shining upon you, and I'm always sending high vibrations and blessings your way. Take care, ladies. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.